Hello everyone, and welcome back to Hidden Korea. Tonight, we uncover a story that has taken the entire Korean entertainment industry by storm. Not Lee Chae-min, but Lee Junho. That's right. The internet is in shock after Dispatch revealed that Im Yoon-ah was caught on a secret date with Lee Junho. Right after Kim Go-eun's wedding. What really happened behind those glittering smiles and quiet glances that no one noticed until now? Stay tuned. The truth behind this unexpected romance is about to unfold. The night after Kim Go-eun's wedding, Seoul's entertainment world was still glowing with champagne lights and whispered laughter. No one expected the next one to arrive carrying chaos. Dispatch had done it again, but this time, the names in their report sent an electric jolt through the industry. Not Lee Chae-min, screamed the headlines. Im Yoon-ah caught on a secret date with Lee Junho. The revelation landed like a thunderclap. Just weeks before, the entire fandom was still speculating about Yoon-ah's rumored closeness to Lee Chae-min, the rising star from her recent drama. Photos, interviews, subtle glances, everything pointed toward him. But Dispatch's lens had turned elsewhere, capturing something no one saw coming. At exactly 11:42 p.m., the night of Kim Go-eun's wedding, Dispatch's camera clicked behind a row of parked vans outside a luxury hotel in Gangnam. Guests were leaving. Laughter echoed in the distance, and then, through the crowd, appeared Im Yoon-ah. She was radiant, dressed elegantly but simply, her smile composed. Behind her, half hidden beneath a black cap and mask, a tall man followed a few steps behind. It wasn't Lee Chae-min. The man adjusted his jacket, his stride unmistakably confident. Lee Junho, the multi-talented idol-turned-actor, known for his quiet charisma and intense gaze. The same gaze that, a moment later, softened when Yoon-ah turned toward him. Dispatch's camera didn't blink. They didn't leave together immediately. Junho waited near the valet exit, pretending to scroll through his phone. Yoon-ah chatted briefly with a stylist friend. 10 minutes later, her car pulled up, a white Genesis sedan, but instead of heading home, she took a side street toward Hanam-dong. Dispatch followed. At 12:15 a.m., she parked near a quiet cafe that had long been closed. The street was empty except for a single black SUV parked 2 spaces behind. Junho stepped out, looking around cautiously before approaching her car. He opened the door himself, and Yoon-ah slipped out with a soft laugh, the kind that escapes only when no one is supposed to hear. For a moment, they simply stood there, no disguises, no distance. He handed her something, a small bouquet of yellow tulips wrapped in brown paper. She smiled, taking it gently, her eyes lingering on him longer than necessary. Street light flickered once, reflecting off the car windows, and Dispatch's photographer captured what would soon ignite the entire internet. By morning, the evidence was ready. The photos were too clear, too intimate to deny. Dispatch's headline dropped like a bomb at 6:02 a.m. The servers crashed within minutes. Comments flooded in faster than they could load. What about Lee Chae-min? This can't be real, Junho and Yoon-ah. No way. This is the biggest twist of the year. The reactions were instant, divided, chaotic. Fans of both stars tried to defend them, while others dove into speculation threads, connecting dots that suddenly made sense, matching bracelets, overlapping schedules, shared filming studios. Behind the scenes, agencies scrambled. SM Entertainment released a short statement, "We are verifying the facts." JYP Entertainment responded minutes later, "We ask for understanding while confirming the situation." Both messages sounded eerily similar, corporate caution wrapped in panic. But Dispatch wasn't finished. They released another set of photos, this time from 2 weeks earlier. Junho and Yoon-ah at a private art gallery opening in Itaewon. Masks on, standing apart. But their reflection in the glass betrayed them. 2 faces turned toward each other, smiling quietly. The nation was hooked. Every major talk show ran the story. ID hosts debated whether this was a new romance or a rekindled connection from there. King the Land Days, the drama that had once made fans dream of their chemistry coming to life. Art imitates life, one anchor said, but this time, maybe life followed art. For years, both stars had been paragons of professionalism, polite, elegant, untouchable. But beneath that polished surface, truth had been growing quietly, hidden between sets and schedules, away from the flash of cameras, until now. As Dispatch's headline continued to spread, One thing became clear: this wasn't just another dating revelation. This was betrayal of expectations, a twist no fan predicted. Lee Chae-min, the rumored link, had become the red herring in a story much deeper and more dangerous. And as Yoon-ah's phone went dark that morning, surrounded by unanswered calls and a flood of messages, reportedly whispered to her manager, "It wasn't supposed to happen like this." But in the world of Kbiz, secrets never stay buried for long. And Dispatch had only just begun digging. The morning after the news broke, Seoul didn't wake up, it erupted. Screens blazed with headlines. Radio hosts shouted through static. Cafes buzzed with one name, Im Yoon-ah. The story had escaped the bounds of entertainment gossip. It was everywhere: office elevators, classrooms, late-night taxis. 7 a.m., Yoon-ah's management office became a fortress. Reporters camped at the entrance, cameras flashing like lightning. Inside, her manager scrolled through hundreds of missed calls, from sponsors, directors, even close friends who couldn't believe it. Yoon-ah sat quietly in the corner, phone face down, the morning light spilling across her unread messages. Her hands trembled slightly. Across the river, at JIP Entertainment, Lee Junho was already awake. He had seen the photos before anyone else. Dispatch had sent him a message the night before. The standard comment request given to all their targets before publication. He hadn't replied. Instead, he spent the night staring out of his apartment window, the city lights below flickering like restless thoughts. At 9:13 a.m., JIP released a second statement. Lee Junho and Im Yoon-ah have known each other for a long time. They recently began seeing each other with good intentions. That single sentence was enough. It was confirmation. Korea stopped. Then it screamed. On social media, the reaction was explosive. Hashtags like Yoon-ah Junho dating and not Lee Chae-min dominated the top trends within minutes. Fans dissected every old interview, every behind-the-scenes video from King the Land. The way he looked at her during the press conference, the shy glances she tried to hide on set. Everything was there, hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone to notice. But the shock wasn't just about romance, it was about betrayal of expectation. The world had been led to believe something else. For weeks, gossip about Yoon-ah and Lee Chae-min had filled entertainment pages. Their chemistry was the talk of the industry. Their names linked in every rumor mill. But now, Dispatch had turned the narrative upside down. As netizens dug deeper, a new theory emerged. Lee Chae-min's story a distraction, one comment read. Did they leak that on purpose to protect the real relationship? The idea spread like wildfire. Fans began tracing the timeline, the overlapping events, the deliberate public appearances. Everything suddenly seemed orchestrated, as if someone had been trying to shield something bigger. By afternoon, the media frenzy reached critical mass. Dozens of reporters surrounded Junho's upcoming film set. Members were forced to escort him through a back entrance. When asked for comment, Junho paused, his jaw tightening, before saying softly, "We never meant to hide. We just wanted to live quietly." The clip went viral in seconds. Meanwhile, Yoon-ah's fans split in two. Some felt heartbroken, others protective. "She deserves happiness," one comment read. "Even if it's not the man we imagined." But not everyone was kind. Anti-fans resurfaced, twisting her image into clickbait headlines. For a woman who had spent nearly 2 decades in the public eye, this was the first time her name trembled under controversy. 5:20 p.m., Dispatch released of their exclusive, titled The Nights in Hanam. The new report revealed photos from multiple dates over the past month, quiet restaurants, shared cars, and the same bouquet of yellow tulips appearing again and again. Ours became a symbol, their secret signature. Now turned evidence. But what caught everyone's attention wasn't just the romance, it was the timeline. Dispatch's timestamps revealed that one of their meetings took place only 2 days before Kim Go-eun's wedding. On that day, Yoon-ah and Junho were seen leaving a secluded restaurant in Itaewon, their hands brushing as they entered separate cars. The implication was clear: their relationship had been ongoing far longer than anyone suspected. By evening, both agencies went silent. Every attempt at damage control had failed. The story was unstoppable. And then, just as things began to cool down, something unexpected happened. An uploaded a short video taken at Kim Go-eun's wedding. In the clip, Yoon-ah is seen sitting at her table, smiling warmly as guests applaud the couple. But for a split second, The camera pans, and in the background, Lee Junho can be seen watching her from across the room. He raises his glass subtly. She smiles back. That 3-second clip broke the internet. The story had taken on a new life, no longer a scandal, but a romance that felt fated, cinematic, almost tragic in its inevitability. Fans began to romanticize the narrative. Edits flooded TikTok, the way he looked at her across the wedding hall, a love written in silence. Even Dispatch, for once, seemed to hesitate. In their closing line, they wrote, "Sometimes love is not about hiding, it's about surviving the noise." The day ended, both stars disappeared from the public eye. No one knew where they went. Some said she left Seoul. Others claimed he followed. But one thing was certain, the image of that quiet smile beneath the wedding lights had already become legend. The next morning, as the headline slowly dimmed, florist in Hanam-dong reported something strange. A familiar face had come in early, cap low, mask on, and bought a single bouquet of yellow tulips. No words. No note. Just flowers. And for those who had followed the story from the start, that was enough. Because in a city of secrets, sometimes the smallest gesture tells the loudest truth. 3 days after the revelation, Seoul was still burning. The city buzzed with electricity, not the kind from neon lights, but from whispers that refused to die. Every talk show, every entertainment headline, passing conversation seemed to circle back to the same question: are they still together? The silence from both sides was deafening. No denials. No clarifications. No apologies. Quiet, the kind of quiet that makes the world lean in closer. But beneath that silence, the storm raged on. At JIP headquarters, an emergency meeting dragged past midnight. Junho's endorsements were in danger. 2 major brands had already paused contracts. A staff member whispered to a journalist, "He's not angry. He's just tired." Across town, Entertainment faced similar chaos. Yoon-ah's upcoming drama press tour had been postponed indefinitely. The 2 most beloved figures in Korean entertainment were now caught between fame and feeling. Then, Dispatch dropped what they called their final revelation. The headline read, "The Last Night Together." Photos were darker, colder, taken under the shadow of winter rain. A narrow street near the Namsan Tower, curling through the air like smoke. Junho stood there, umbrella in hand, waiting beside a parked car. Minutes later, Yoon-ah arrived. Her expression was tense. Eyes swollen, maybe from tears, maybe from exhaustion. She stepped out of the car without speaking. He moved toward her, offering the umbrella. But she shook her head. They stood inches apart. The air between them was heavy with unspoken things. Dispatch's photographer described it later as the kind of silence you can hear breaking. After a long pause, she reached into her pocket and pulled out something, the silver bracelet they'd both been seen wearing. She placed it in his hand. He tried to give it back. She stepped away. And then, before stepping into her car, he said something, just one line, captured faintly in the audio Dispatch recorded that night. "You said love could survive the spotlight, but it's burning us alive." Her door closed. The car disappeared down the hill. Junho stayed, motionless, dripping from his hands, clutching the bracelet like it was the last thing keeping him tethered to the world. By dawn, Dispatch had published everything. The internet exploded again, but this time with anger. It was sorrow, disbelief, empathy. "They didn't break because of scandal," one comment said. "They broke because of us." In a single night, public perception shifted. The story no longer felt like a scandal, it felt like a tragedy. 4 weeks after, neither appeared in public. Schedules were quietly rearranged. Appearances cancelled. But their absence only made the legend grow. Fans began writing about them, calling them the couple that never got to be. Artists painted them. Lyricists wrote songs inspired by the bouquet of tulips. The rain-soaked goodbye bracelet that symbolized a love crushed under the weight of fame. Came the awards season. Both were nominated, she for Best Actress, he for Actor of the Year. When the night arrived, tension filled the hall. Cameras flashed with restless hunger. When Yoon-ah's name was called, she walked to the stage with her usual poise. Her speech was calm, until the final lines. "I live under lights so bright. Sometimes we forget how to see in the dark. But even there, someone once held my hand." All went silent. Junho didn't move, but his eyes glistened. The camera found him, and for a moment, the two were framed together on the giant screen, not side by side, but connected in the way only two people who have shared something unspeakably real can be. That single image broke every barrier between fiction and reality. In the days that followed, fans began noticing quiet signs. A message on Yoon-ah's fan cafe, some flowers bloom only in memory. A post from Junho's photographer friend, a black and white picture of tulips beneath raindrops. No names. No captions. Just echoes of something beautiful that had once been. Public, at last, stopped chasing. The noise softened. The story found its end, not in a headline, but in the ache that lingered. Months later, during spring, an anonymous donation appeared at a children's hospital in Seoul. The sender's note was simple. Ones who still believe in quiet love. Signed only with two initials, Y and J. And so, the legend closed, not as a scandal, but as a haunting love story carved into the heart of Korean entertainment. For Dispatch, it was another victory, but this time, even they admitted in their closing line, sometimes, what we expose is not a secret, it's a heartbeat. And as Seoul's skyline shimmered in the fading light, it was hard not to wonder, somewhere out there, still thinking of each other? Or had the spotlight truly burned everything away, leaving behind nothing but memory and tulips beneath the rain? Time moved on, but the story remained, not as a headline, not as a scandal, but as a quiet echo that refused to die. City that thrives on fleeting fame. Their tale became something rare, a memory that whispered long after the cameras stopped rolling. Lee Junho continued to act performances deeper, his eyes carrying a weight only those who loved and lost could understand. Im Yoon-ah returned to the screen, her grace untouched, her smile softer, as if she had learned that even in heartbreak, beauty survives. Dispatch, for once, let the story rest. There were no follow-ups. No invasions, only the understanding that some truths are better left to fade gently, like light dissolving over the Han River. Perhaps that was the real ending, not in tears, not in noise, but in the fragile silence between two people who once stood together against the world. Some say love in showbiz is impossible. Sometimes, it's not meant to last, it's meant to mean. To everyone who followed this story from its first whisper to its final heartbeat, thank you. Thank you for listening, for feeling, for daring to look beyond the headlines. At Hidden Korea, we don't just tell stories. We uncover the moments that hide between fame and reality, where truth breathes, and hearts still beat quietly beneath the flash of cameras. Till the next secret surfaces. This is Hidden Korea, signing off. Where every story hides a heartbeat.